listen closely. Right now, as you read these words, you are choosing the outcome of your life without even realizing it. This isn't cheap motivational theory, nor a lazy Sunday afternoon inspirational quote. It's the hidden mechanics of your existence, and you've ignored it for so long that you no longer even notice how it's destroying you. Every morning you wake up carrying the weight of what hasn't happened yet, dragging the fear of what could go wrong, mentally rehearsing failure before you even try anything. And do you know what's most disturbing? That you think that's prudence, that you call preparation what is actually self-sabotage. You've become the architect of your own ruin, and the worst part is that you defend it as if it were wisdom. But let me ask you something uncomfortable. How many times have you predicted disaster and been right? And how many times was that prediction the only thing that ensured it would happen? Here's the truth that terrifies you. It's not the world conspiring against you, it's you conspiring against yourself. Every time you visualize failure, every time you prepare for the worst, every time you act from fear, you're sending a clear signal to the universe about who you are. And the universe, that indifferent and brutal force, simply responds accordingly. Not because it's magical, but because your energy determines your decisions, and your decisions create your reality. When you act from fear, you move like a loser, you speak like a loser, you choose like a loser. And then you're surprised when you lose. The irony is devastating. You spend so much time protecting yourself from failure that you forget to move towards success. You build walls so high you can't even see the opportunities passing in front of you. And when someone points this out, you defend your fear as if it were logic, as if anticipating disaster made you smarter than everyone else. But here comes the part that really hurts. Fear doesn't protect you from anything. It never has. The only thing it accomplishes is ensuring that you live a reduced version of what you could be. Do you remember the last time something you feared actually happened? Not the vague anxiety, something concrete. And when it happened, did all that anticipatory worry help you at all? Of course it didn't. All it did was steal weeks, months, maybe years of your peace of mind. Meanwhile, those who acted as if everything would turn out fine moved forward, not because they were dumber or more naive, but because they understood something fundamental. The way you move determines where you end up. If you move like someone destined for failure, failure will find you. If you move like someone for whom things work out, things start to work out. It's not magic, it's emotional physics. Eckhart Tolle expressed it in a way most people misunderstand. The present is all you have. But people hear that and think of mindfulness, deep breathing, being aware. They miss the most important part. What Tolle is really saying is this: your life doesn't exist in the past or the future. It exists now, in this instant. And if in this instant you're acting from the fear of what might happen, you're not living. You're dying in slow motion. Every moment you spend rehearsing disaster is a moment you're not building anything real. You're living in a fiction you yourself are writing, and the worst part is that it's a horror story. No one is forcing you to write that story. You're choosing it, second after second, breath after breath. And then you wonder why your life feels like a constant struggle. Here's what you don't want to accept. Acting as if everything will turn out fine isn't naive, it's strategic. It's the only strategy that actually works, because when you act from that certainty, your decisions change, your body language changes, your energy changes. People feel it, opportunities feel it, the universe feels it. It's not that you become blindly optimistic, it's that you stop being your own enemy. You stop sabotaging yourself before you even begin. Think of the people you know who seem lucky. What do they have in common? It's not that things always go well for them, it's that they act as if things will go well. They move with a quiet confidence, not arrogant, just present. And that presence is magnetic. It attracts possibilities. It opens doors you didn't even know existed, but you cling to your armor of cynicism. You think preparing for the worst makes you stronger, more realistic. That's a lie. It makes you smaller. It keeps you playing defense when life is won on offense. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's life is what his thoughts make it." He didn't say life is what happens to you. He said it's what your thoughts make of what happens to you. See the difference? If your thoughts are infected with fear, your life will be a manifestation of that fear. If your thoughts are aligned with the certainty that things will work out, your life will reflect that certainty. Not because the universe owes you anything, but because your actions will be completely different. And here comes the most disturbing part. Most people prefer familiar suffering over unknown success. They prefer anticipating disaster because at least it's predictable. Success, fulfillment, peace, those things are scary. Because if things go well, what excuse do you have left? How do you justify all those years of mediocrity? It's easier to keep blaming circumstances, the world, bad luck. But when you act as if everything will go well and things actually do go well, you run out of excuses, and that terrifies the ego. The ego needs drama, problems, reasons to keep you locked away. Acting from certainty kills it slowly. It deprives it of fuel, and that's why it resists so much. Listen clearly, I'm not saying you should ignore reality. I'm not suggesting you become an optimistic idiot who jumps off a cliff hoping to fly. I'm saying something much deeper. I'm saying the way you interpret reality creates the reality you live. If you interpret every obstacle as a sign that everything is against you, you'll act defeated and you'll be defeated. If you interpret every obstacle as a temporary challenge, you will overcome. You'll act with power and you'll find a way. Same situation, completely different results. The difference isn't in the circumstances, it's in you. It has always been in you. But it's more comfortable to blame the world than to accept that responsibility. Think about this. How many opportunities have you let pass because you assumed they wouldn't work? How many conversations did you avoid because you thought you'd be rejected? How many ideas did you keep to yourself because you anticipated failure? Now imagine if you had acted from the certainty that it would work, not from arrogance, not from believing you can't fail, but from the confidence that no matter what happens, you'll be fine. What would your life look like now? Probably unrecognizable. And that is the tragedy. It's not that the world denied you something, it's that you denied it to yourself. You acted from fear for so long that it became your identity. And now, when someone suggests you act differently, it feels like they're asking you to become someone else. But they're not. They're asking you to be who you really are, without the layers of fear you've accumulated. Tolle talks about identification with the mind, about how the ego creates stories and you believe them. One of those stories is that the world is hostile, that things go wrong, that you must always be on guard. But that story isn't the truth, it's just a narrative you've accepted. And as long as you believe it, you'll keep living out its consequences. The mind sells you fear as protection, but all it does is trap you. True protection comes from presence, from being fully here, now, without projections of the past or anxieties about the future. When you are present, you act with clarity. And when you act with clarity, things tend to work out. Not always how you expected, but in ways that end up benefiting you if you let them. Here's the secret that separates those who live fully from those who barely survive. Those who live fully have let go of the need to control the future. They act in the present with the certainty that they're doing the right thing, and then they let the outcome be whatever it will be. They don't cling to rigid expectations. They don't collapse when something goes differently than planned. They simply adjust and continue. That flexibility comes from a deep confidence, the confidence that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. And that confidence is not blind, it's earned. It's earned through failing and getting back up. It's earned by acting despite fear and discovering that fear was smoke. It's earned over and over until it becomes part of your being. But you can't earn it if you never start. And you won't start if you keep acting from the certainty of failure. So what do you do with this? How do you break the pattern? First, you recognize that you have it. Stop defending your fear. Stop justifying your caution as wisdom. Look in the mirror and admit you've been sabotaging yourself. Second, make a conscious decision. Next time you face something uncertain, instead of rehearsing disaster, ask yourself, what would I do if I knew this was going to work? And then do that. Don't wait to feel safe, because you'll never feel safe until you do it. Safety doesn't precede action, it follows it. Act first, the confidence will come after. Third, observe your mind. Every time it starts building failure scenarios, stop it. Don't argue with it, just observe it. Tell yourself, there's my mind creating stories again. And then return to the present. What can you do now? That's the only thing that matters, not what might happen tomorrow, not what happened yesterday, what you can do now. And do it from the certainty that it's okay, because deep down it always is. Even when you fail, it's okay. You learn, adjust, continue. This isn't a one-time game, it's a complete paradigm shift. You're going to slip, you're going to doubt, you're going to feel fear. But every time you choose to act from certainty instead of fear, you're reprogramming your system. You're teaching yourself that you can trust yourself, that you can move through uncertainty without collapsing. And over time, that certainty becomes natural. Not because things always go how you want, but because you know you can handle whatever comes. And when you know you can handle whatever comes, fear loses its power. It becomes background noise that no longer dictates your decisions. You become free, not free from problems, but free within them. And that is the only freedom that really matters. Now here's the part no one tells you. Acting as if everything will turn out fine isn't just a mental strategy, it's an act of faith. Not religious faith, but faith in life itself. Faith that the universe is not conspiring against you, that things tend to find balance, that there is an intelligence operating beyond your limited understanding. The ancients called it the Tao, the natural flow of things. Tolle calls it universal intelligence. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that when you align with that current, when you stop resisting, when you act from trust instead of fear, you become part of that flow. And the flow takes you to places your mind could never have planned. Better places, more interesting places, more authentic places. But you have to let go of control. You have to stop trying to force outcomes and simply move with clear intention and an open heart. Resistance is the enemy. Every time you resist what is, every time you fight against present reality, because it's not what you wanted, you disconnect from the flow. And when you disconnect, everything becomes struggle. Everything feels heavy. But when you accept what is, when you act from where you are with the certainty that you can work with this, resistance disappears. And without resistance, everything becomes easier. Not because your problems vanish, but because you stop adding extra suffering to the situation. Tolle explains it like this: pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Pain is what life gives you. Suffering is what your mind adds by resisting the pain. When you act as if everything will turn out fine, you're not denying pain, you're refusing to add suffering. And here comes something that will sound contradictory, but is essential. Acting as if everything will turn out fine doesn't mean everything will turn out the way you want. It means you trust that everything will turn out the way it should. That's the crucial distinction. Your ego wants specific results. It wants control. It wants guarantees. But life doesn't work that way. Life is smarter than your ego. Sometimes what you think you want isn't what you need. Sometimes apparent failure is a redirection towards something better. But you can only see that in hindsight. In the moment, you have to trust. You have to act with the certainty that you're being guided, even when you don't understand where to. And that trust isn't passivity. It's not sitting back and waiting for the universe to hand you things. It's acting with full commitment while releasing attachment to a specific outcome. It's doing your best and then letting go. It's paradoxical, I know, but the truth is always paradoxical. Think of the time something that seemed terrible ended up being the best thing that could have happened to you. A breakup that opened the way to a better relationship. A job loss that led you to discover your true calling. A crisis that forced you to grow in ways you never would have chosen voluntarily. Those moments didn't feel good when they happened, but now, looking back, you see they were necessary. They were part of your path. So why do you keep resisting what's happening now? Why can't you trust that this is part of the process too? Because your mind wants immediate certainty. It wants to know everything will be okay before it relaxes. But life doesn't offer those guarantees. Life asks you to trust first and understand later. And that's the test. Those who can do that thrive. Those who can't suffer unnecessarily. Now, understand something important. This isn't about superficial positive thinking. It's not about repeating affirmations in the mirror while ignoring your real problems. That's nonsense. What I'm pointing to is much deeper. It's about changing the fundamental energy from which you operate. It's about stopping the habit of living as a survival mode organism and beginning to live from a place of rooted trust. When you live in survival mode, your decisions are reactive, defensive, small. When you live from trust, your decisions are creative, expansive, bold. Same person, two entirely different states, and those states create entirely different lives. One keeps you trapped in repetitive cycles of fear. The other frees you to explore your true potential. So the question is, how much longer are you going to live the reduced version of yourself? How many more years will you waste anticipating disasters that will likely never happen? How many more opportunities will you miss because your mind convinced you they wouldn't work? Because here's the brutal reality. Time is passing. Every day you choose fear over trust is a day you don't get back. And in the end, when you look back, you won't regret the times you failed trying. You'll regret the times you didn't even try. You'll regret living small when you could have lived big. And by then it will be too late. Not too late to change the past, but too late to reclaim the present you wasted, living in an imaginary future. So do me a favor, stop reading this as if it were more inspirational content. It's not. It's a mirror. It's showing you exactly how you've been living and the cost you've been paying. And now you have a choice. You can close this, go back to your routine, keep acting from fear, and pretend none of this touched you. Or you can decide, here, now, in this moment, that you're going to try something different, that the next time you face uncertainty, you're going to act as if everything will turn out fine. Not because you're naive, but because you've understood that it's the only real way to live. And when you do, pay attention to what happens. Notice how your energy shifts, how people respond differently to you, how opportunities begin to appear. It won't be magic, but it will feel like it, because you'll finally be aligned with the flow instead of resisting it. And one last thing, don't wait to feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Fear will always have convincing arguments. Doubt will always find reasons to wait. But life doesn't wait. It moves with or without you. So move with it. Act now from where you are, with what you have, with the certainty that it's okay. Because it is. It always has been. The problem was never the world. The problem was that you believe your mind when it told you that you had to be afraid. But you don't have to believe it anymore. You can choose something else. You can choose trust. And when you do, everything changes, not overnight, but inevitably, deeply, permanently. That's the promise. Not that you'll never fail, but that you'll never again carry the regret of not having tried. And in the end, that's the only thing that truly matters.